Will you tell me when you stop recording?
I will, of course. The recording is starting now. So this is Miriam. Miriam, we graduated in 1991, so it's 20 years since we graduated. But where did you go after we graduated from UCG?
After we graduated, I think I went to the college bar. No, I'm sorry.
You might be right. You and me, we did, yeah.
And that was straight to the college bar. But after that, when you say we graduated in 1991, so what's the question? I'm sorry. Where did we go to? Like, where did I leave Ireland?
Did you leave Ireland after that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so where did you go?
Where did I go? I went straight to London.
Okay, why did you choose London?
Well, because I'd been there before for summer jobs.
Okay, so you were familiar with it?
Yes, and it was quite close to home, so it was relatively cheap to get there. So we'd gone there for a couple of summers during our college years, so it was pretty easy then just to go straight back there because I was familiar with it.
Okay, and what were conditions like in Ireland when you were leaving?
It's funny, I was thinking about what you might actually ask me on this interview, and I suppose one of the questions was, why did I leave Ireland?
Yeah.
And if I'm to be honest about it, I was thinking, well, I suppose the technical answer would be because the economy went through a slump and there was like no jobs. But then I was thinking about it again, and I thought, well, that's actually not an answer for me. If I'm actually really honest about it, I left Ireland because I really wanted to go and travel.
Yeah.
And yes, the economy probably had an impact on my decision to leave, whereas I suppose if there was loads of jobs in Ireland and I got what was defined then as a good job, then I probably would have got a good job, stayed, worked in it for a couple of years, and then maybe decided to travel. But because I suppose there was no option to go into a good job straight from college, I wanted to travel, and therefore for me, I don't hold any sort of animosity against why I left Ireland, and I remember the conditions as being so bad.
Yeah.
I do remember them being bad, but I don't remember that as being my criteria for leaving. I really just wanted to go and get out and see the world after spending 6 years in school studying for my leaving cert and then 4 years or whatever trying to get through college because I was still quite young. So to be honest with you, that was really why I left Ireland.
So the next question might be redundant. Was it emotional for you to leave then?
No. I was actually, to be honest with you, I had support from my parents. My mom had always said, go and travel. It's probably the best thing that you'd ever do. And go and see the place. And so anytime I left Ireland, when I would go back and forth, I never saw it as like sort of, oh, I'm never returning again.
Yeah.
I'm going off into exile and will never be seen again. I sort of saw it as, this is something that I choose to do with my life, especially in my 20s, I suppose.
Yeah.
Really, it was just something that became so natural and a part of my life. So no, I didn't, I wasn't forced out. So.
Were conditions better or worse for you in your new country?
The conditions are different because I was working. When I was in Ireland, I never worked. Therefore, I was always relying either on my parents or on, as you say, a summer job or on money for college. Like we worked in the evenings, I worked during the summers. So when I went to London, I was working full time, and didn't have any really responsibilities. So therefore, conditions of course were better because at the time, what all I required was a paycheck. So therefore, yes, they would have been better. But nothing was ever sort of seen as being like, oh, I'm going to be in this job for the next 20 years. It was just sort of seen as a means to maybe move on to somewhere else.
Right. How long were you in London, Miriam?
It's funny, I was thinking about this, where have I been since I left Ireland? And I was in London for 3 years. I went over there in 91, and then I left to come to New York in 1994.
Okay, so you came to New York to America in 1994. Why did you choose to come to America in 1994? Why did you not stay in London?
The reason I was in London because I just it was nearer, and
so why did you not stay?
My friend had travelled to New York and had been illegal here for a few years, but then got a visa and came to visit me while in London. And she was like, oh, I just didn't sort of know where my next step was to go, and I was sort of in a redundant job in London anyway. And I just thought maybe it would be fun to go and try America out. I had no intention ever of coming to New York, but at the same time I thought, well, if I get a visa, sure, it was free to apply. You just had to send in your postcard, and I happened to be one of those lucky ones, which I found out a few years later, to get one of the Morrison visas.
Yeah. Yeah. So you actually won a Morrison
in
visa.
healthcare.
Yeah. You won a Morrison visa then.
Yes.
When you left Ireland, did you intend to go back at some point and live there, or were you intent on immigrating for good?
I had no intent of immigrating for good, nor do I still do.
Yeah.
When I was leaving Ireland, I was leaving just to go find and see the world and to see what was going on. I always go home. I always go back home to visit. I go home. I still want to go home. I don't ever see myself fully as having immigrated in my mind, whether I have done so outside of myself, but I still see myself going back home.
You still, well, that would be my next question. So, will you ever go back to live in Ireland? So, I guess the question changes. When do you think you'll be going back to live in Ireland?
When the end of the revolt. And finally, the Irish people might stand up for themselves like the Egyptians and maybe the New Yorkers are, and finally overthrow the government that has robbed them for the last 10 years. Then maybe I'll be able to go back. But
You should
to be honest with you,
go back and become the Prime Minister.
I'll get Anne to do that. I could do it. She could write the speeches.
I'll write the speeches.
You can write the speeches. There you go. And yes, Anne could be my legal spokesperson, or Pauline could. No, the corruption that has gone in Ireland and what I've seen has not deterred me from wanting to go back there. And I think the reason why I want to go back is because I've never lived and worked in Ireland by choice. I was raised there, I went to school there, I was educated there, and left. My family is still there, and I'm still very close ties. Now, I don't have this romantic notion of Ireland, oh, we go back there and live in the green fields and that. I do know that there is a bad economy, the climate is pretty bad, and the country has just been destroyed by greed. But for me, the country is not about that. It's just ingrained in me. I love the place. I don't know why exactly I know that, but I didn't leave because I was forced out. I left by choice. And now I think for me, the next move will be the biggest adventure is to try to move back and fit in.
Yeah. So would you say that immigration has been beneficial for you, Miriam?
I've never looked at it as myself as being an immigrant, but I guess I am, I suppose, if I believe it. But yes, absolutely. I think if I had gotten a good job when I got for college, if they had been available at the time, I may have stayed and worked and then got caught in what life circumstances throw at you. I'm glad that I left. I was able to travel to numerous countries, work in numerous countries, and as such have been in New York now for the last 20 years. And I think from being in different countries and working with different people, different races, different cultures, has made me more of a rounded person, more free thinking. But having said that, and people will say, why then would you want to go back to Ireland? I'm Irish, that's where I was born, and that's where I want to raise my family, and that's where I want to stay to live for the next 20 years, if possible.
Yeah, yeah. Now, you've worked in Australia for a little bit too?
Yes.
Was that a different experience from America and England?
Yes, because I didn't have a visa there, and I was working purely as chocolate liver, and even more sort of to get I took time out from New York. I was just going through a period in my life when I needed to, and Trisha was there, and we just got caught up, we got connected up there, and I got to see a part of a country that I may never have been exposed to. I'm so glad that I did now.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad in one way that I was here in New York, that I didn't go to Australia first from Ireland, because it is very far away from home, and I find that I may have ended up there not by choice but by circumstance, and purely because of proximity. I'm so glad that I'm in New York and not Australia, and it's only purely to do with a distance from Ireland. That's the only reason.
Yeah. Now, do you think you'd have had as many opportunities open to you in Ireland if you had stayed there?
I think what I would have had to do if I was staying in Ireland, I would have had to get my dad to get a bank loan, and I would have had to just go and either suck it up and become a teacher, get more education, or go do that business course that they were offering, which was costing I think £5,000 a time or something, and I didn't have the cash to do that, nor was I going to ask my parents to do that after they put me through college. So I thought by traveling for a couple of years, I could sort of figure out what I wanted to do, because I did not know what I wanted to do. That was, I think, ultimately the you were there, you hope that you would have made a wise decision and not got caught up in the weirdness that started.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But that's it.
There's one more question from Miriam, and the question is, what advice would you give to immigrants leaving Ireland today?
From a practical point of view is get informed about what you need to which country you want to go to, which would best please the lifestyle that you're looking for, how much money you may need when you get there, try to budget to set up for a place, try to find someone that you know, and if you don't know anybody that you're going to, say if you're going to Canada, you have nobody there, then sort of get them as much information as you can and sort of to stay safe. I'm not going to repeat the experiences that I went through when we went. Money was always a factor, but looking at countries based on immigration right now, and I see lots of people trying to move to Australia, is that moving countries doesn't necessarily solve all your financial problems either. I sort of feel that from reading newspapers that people are moving because there's no work in Ireland, that if they declare bankruptcy or give up their house in Ireland, that they will go to Australia, find the ultimate dream job, work, find a normal job and work, and that this will solve everything. There's more to it than just sort of getting a job. You have to consider if you're on your own, it's probably easier to make choices, but if you have a family, if you're talking about immigrating with your wife, your husband, partner, and your children, there's a lot to consider. There's the school systems, education systems. I would just sort of make an informed decision based on your age. If you're in your 20s, I'd say, hey, if you're thinking about it, go for it and have fun. Don't look at it as something that's, you're going to be exiled for the rest of your life. You can always go back home. Things will change. The economy do turn around. It may take a few years, but I'm looking to move back now. It's probably the worst time in the